Into it.
Well, nice to meet you, Sarah.
All right. I'll speak to you again.
No, I haven't plugged it in. If it doesn't work, man, we just go.
And then let's go to the Zoom meeting. Let's go to that one. Where's that microphone? The little microphone? Where you mute it and stuff. Where's everybody?
Okay, I just want
You're on Facebook.
to go to
There's Zoom. There's the Zoom meeting.
Zoom meeting is right here.
Let's see everybody. Facebook. Click that one. Okay.
Right here.
No, on the Zoom. Click on the Zoom.
Admit.
Put this on the right.
Just right here.
That's the Zoom logo. Click there. There you go. You can see the people. Go to this real quick. Microphone. Get it. Click that little arrow next to them.
Right here.
Yep. Microphone. Okay. Click audio settings. Oh, we want input. Input. Let's check. What are our options?
Okay.
Yeah. Try same as system. Let me see. I'm talking to that mic over there.
Okay.
So sounds gonna come through this one and that one.
It's gonna come through, yeah. Which
There's probably-
testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
I can hear you.
Testing. Testing.
Testing. Can you hear me talk?
Yeah, we are getting an echo
Yeah, some. We got an echo.
because we're getting, you know what? Try now, just try muting that speaker on your laptop.
Okay.
Testing.
Everywhere.
Testing.
Test. Okay. It's muted. Testing. I clear this time. Testing.
Talking for me?
Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2.
And now we can't hear.
Can you say something else?
Testing. 1 2 3. Can you guys hear me?
This is where we could have used Sarah, is asking her what the input is, because now we can't, the people on the thing aren't going to be able to
Hear you. So
Let me
let's
see.
see.
Let me get it back. We're gonna answer what question?
What's the input supposed to be? And what's the output? For you to be using the iRig with that mic into your laptop.
S0. So S0 now?
Yes.
Okay.
We only have two choices. So if we do this one, they'll hear you, but it's picking it up from this microphone on your laptop, not the $1,000 microphone over there.
Okay.
So,
Hello.
hey, Sarah.
Yeah.
It's Todd. Real quick question here. So we're using the Zoom and I'm bringing up the audio in the board operator, in the operator room, and I'm bringing up through the computer. So I want to use the microphone that's in the studio for JC. So I have that iRig set up and it's going into his.
I don't know how, I don't understand how the audio works in the studio.
So basically, what is
James got it to work with Dallas. I don't understand how the
what is the input supposed to be? Is it supposed to be Realtek definition audio or same as
I
system?
have no idea.
Let's try both.
I don't know. As I said, I don't understand the connection.
Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Breon's called in. Haskett.
Okay.
All right, I'm sorry. He needs to let the other chap into the meeting as well. He's waiting to come in.
Okay. I do this one. So, but do you see the video though?
Yes, it looks great. It looks and sounds great on Facebook.
Okay.
We just need to sort out the echo problem with the studio microphone.
Yeah. So basically, we're just gonna have to do. I'm gonna turn off this microphone. I'm gonna be talking through here.
Okay.
It's not gonna sound very good.
No, I gotta go through here. Okay. So
you want to just do Facebook Live then?
can we? So you got to get everybody phone numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even though that. Let's see, what's this?
Because the echo won't go away. That's the thing.
If you cannot hear your voice, select a different mic.
So you need the phone.
Once he makes the decision to switch to Facebook Live, then we probably
Testing. See, I turned this off again, and I don't hear an echo.
You don't hear?
Testing. Can you speak?
Testing.
You sound good.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Testing. I don't hear echo.
No, you sound good. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
I don't hear echo.
Okay. All right.
So is everybody in?
Can
Can you call Breon Haskett on there?
no, call him or
Yeah, he was trying to call me.
I need to let him in here.
Okay. Yeah, he's probably calling about that. I'm afraid to mess with my phone right now because I don't want to drop off of here.
Okay, I know he want to be let in. Okay. Testing. Can you hear me, Todd?
Hear you loud and clear.
Okay.
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Sounds
Loud
good.
and clear.
What about
I hear you guys good in Savannah.
Hey,
Hey, Ken, sounds good, man.
JJ.
You sound good.
Okay.
Yes.
Matt, Dr. Haskett.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. What's up, man? What's up,
Todd.
Happy birthday to you, sir. How you doing, Mr. Cooley?
my brother? Mr. Ken Boler, how are you? This is JJ.
Yeah, John.
John, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well.
Doing well. Just getting rained out down here in Savannah.
Okay.
We're getting a little bit of that in Atlanta as well. So
Okay, how's this? Okay, wonderful.
So Todd, everybody sound okay? Okay. Oh yeah. Hey man. Hey, DJ Carrot Stick.
We about to talk to some celebrities this morning, Jay.
Oh man, all of them. Hey, did you get a copy of this?
Oh, let me see.
I'm about to have her make it. You didn't get one. Let me see if I can.
You gotta start paying your wife more, man, because she's on it, brother.
I'm gonna have to have her make you a copy.
Okay. Okay. We got time for that? Okay. All right, gentlemen, be right back. Thanks, sir.
what y'all doing? As well as can be. I'm muted. No, I'm good. Thanks. Glad to meet the world famous brother of Mr. Isaac Ford Jr. Heard a lot about you. Oh man, I have to send him $1. Hopefully he told you some good stuff. Yeah, he did. I think I was there at the original book signing that you had down in your hometown. On Augusta.
Yeah.
We met. We shook hands then.
We met there. That's right. We did meet there.
Yeah. We met there. Good to see you again, man.
Good to see you too. So y'all
Hope
having
you're staying safe. Hope you're staying safe out here in this COVID. It's crazy right now, but we're trying to work through the lanes that they give us.
I'm a homebody these days. I'm typically not, but I try to avoid it altogether. That's
Yeah. I shake hands from 10 feet away, man. It's kind of hard to do business that way, but that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Air bump.
Air bump. That's right. Not even physical.
Yeah. But it's okay. We're gonna put the band back together. We're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think we had some news from what was it, Pfizer? That
Yes.
we have a potential way to give us a shot to make sure we're okay going into the spring and next fall.
Yeah. We just need everybody to be smart during Thanksgiving and Christmas, man, so we don't take this thing off the charts.
That's the
Yeah, I
hard
think it's gonna spike.
Yeah, you got all these kids coming home from college. You've got a mix of family going different places, and the turkey's not going to be the cure, right? It's got tryptophan in it, but not what we need to cure this disease.
Notre Dame took out Clemson, and everybody ran out on the field, man. I was just like, no.
Yeah, I saw that.
No.
That's a sign. It may be the end times anyway. Notre Dame took out Clemson, but their quarterback was hurt, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
COVID. Yep.
You get an asterisk by that win. I hope there's no Notre Dame fans on here, but
No, but Crimson Tide. I'm an Alabama boy.
Are you? Okay.
Yes.
Born and raised down there?
Northern Alabama.
Northern Alabama. It's a different culture in northern versus southern Alabama. Is that right?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is.
It's interesting that way. I'm from Virginia. It's the same way. Right around Richmond,
Mm-hmm.
a bit different north than they are south. I'm as far south on the peninsula as you can get until you almost hit North Carolina. So we're the peninsula, Newport News, Hampton area.
I know it quite well. 20-year Navy guy. I spent the Newport News shipyard getting retrofitted, the Enterprise out there, then the Mount Whitney out there.
Wow. Are you familiar with my lovely hometown?
Yeah, actually, I met my wife in Newport News while I was there.
And your girl?
Yeah.
Where's the crab cakes? Where are the crab cakes?
Crab cakes and smiles. That's what we're all about.
Oh yeah.
Crab cakes and Mr. Boler's got some grouper down there, snapper down there in Savannah.
Ooh.
Hey,
I'll take some grouper.
My daughter's she's a E8 Air Force. She's headed to Langley, so I'll be right up there in that neck of the woods.
There you go.
Right there in New York.
Yep.
It's some big things. Yeah, we're super
It's a
proud.
little chilly up there for me, though. I'm a Southern boy. I need to stay below the Mason-Dixon line.
You and me both.
Yeah. Kind of temperate weather in Virginia, but we not a lot of snow from the peninsula area, but it gets cold. The water,
It gets cold.
the air comes off that water, as you well know, John, from being in the Navy.
Ooh.
Take you out. So
Yeah. I actually went to high school in Williamsburg, Lafayette High School.
Oh, did you?
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Lafayette. Okay.
20 minutes, 30 seconds. Okay.
Very familiar with that, actually, that high school. I think it was
Getting ready to start.
Lawrence Taylor.
Absolutely. That part of Virginia is known for its African, right? So
It's a beautiful area. I love the Tidewater area.
Are you ready? Let's do this. Hello, it's an echo. Testing.
Go back some.
Where's that echo coming from?
It's better now.
Testing. Okay. Facebook family out there, how you doing? You know, we got a very exciting show today. And I tell you, hold on one second. Thank you.
Is there volume coming out of your laptop?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so turn this one down.
Lot better, lot better, lot better. Yeah. Still a little echo. Can we mute this? Lot better, lot better, lot better. I'm mute right here, right?
Yeah.
And Isaac is music. Yours is muted. This is you?
Yeah.
Tester. It's still a little echo, something.
I lost my audio for some reason.
I can hear you.
Okay.
We
I
lost
still got you as well.
James's audio.
Okay.
James, you're muted.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. So we got a great audience that's going to be listening to all this good information. And today's show is on military veterans. And I tell you, all of the different things that our veterans do, and we just have to thank them for their service. I mean, the Military Veteran Day is every single day in the military. What you say, Isaac?
I couldn't agree with you more. The bit of gratitude and thanks that we owe our veterans, military and veteran affiliated population. It should be 24/7, 365, not just one day.
Yeah, and so, you know, just like I said, we got some great guests, and we're gonna get this thing started. But our guests, we got John Johnson, a Navy. We got a Navy one officer, retired, a good friend of mine, been knowing him a long time. You know, so we got Ken Boler, you know, military retired medically. He's gonna talk to us about a lot of things. And then we got the famous Dr. Breon Haskett. You know, so get ready and let's do it. Hello, welcome to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. And, you know, I got a co-host in studio with me today to help me deliver this great message. His name is Mr. Isaac Ford. How you doing, Isaac?
Well, blessed to be here, James.
Wow, man, we got a deep show today where we're honoring our military veterans and, you know, and also the people out there that paid the ultimate sacrifice. I think every day should be a Veterans Day. And so you want to tell them about a couple of the guests that we got coming on, Isaac?
Yes, today we have the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps is represented. And in terms of their collective experience, I think we have about 50 years worth of experience in phenomenal careers, all of them exemplary careers in terms of their service in uniform. And they continued that same vein as they transitioned into the civilian sector once again.
Yeah, so we got Dr. Haskett that I'm looking forward to hearing some of the things that he has to say and a lot of things that he's doing. We got Ken Boler, who's doing a lot of great things out there, you know, helping people get back to work, and he's just doing a magnificent job. And we got my old Navy buddy, John Johnson. I call him JJ, very good friend. I've been knowing him a long time. So just get ready, sit back, grab your popcorn, cause we getting ready to bring it. So Isaac, first of all, I'm gonna tell the world. I'm allowing you to tell the world a little bit about yourself. Tell them who you are. And
Well, first of all, let me just start by saying happy birthday, United States Marine Corps. And Simplified, we call this a happy birthday, Marine on this great day. And again, thank you for the service of all of those veterans that we'll be celebrating tomorrow, Veterans Day. But just a little bit about me. I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, born in Washington, D.C. And I spent about 3 years on the Augusta Police Department, did odd jobs, and re-entered active duty and stayed until July of 2009. Retired as Marine Master Gunnery Sergeant right here in San Diego, California, NCRD. And immediately after retiring, I went to USC, started working my graduate degree in Master's in Clinical Social Work. And then I left USC after about 6 years, and during that time, worked on behalf of military and veteran populations as well as civilians. And so it's one of the honors of my life to continue my service and continue my advocacy also to the greatest population that you can serve in academia and helping other military and veteran affiliated populations to make successful transitions themselves. Since that time, I started a couple of businesses, photography, consulting, and wrote a book up from the bottom, a memoir, in April of 2019. And the book was about my earlier life in East Augusta, Georgia. The book talks about tragedy, resilience, forgiveness, and unconditional love. Tragedy, resilience, unconditional love, and it kind of speaks to the power of the human spirit. And the overarching theme of the book is that no matter where you start in life, no matter what happens to you, with faith, with hard work, determination, and by surrounding yourself with positive, affirming people, you can still write your own incredible narrative and live life to the fullest until the music stops. And since that time, about for the last 16 months, my book was written as a curriculum at USC School of Social Work as a case study for resilience. So I've been doing guest lecture series, conferences, and doing world-class podcasts like the one that we're on right now with Mr. Cooley. And so the message has been resonating with people. And so I've been incredibly blessed to continue life after we move on as well. So thank you so much. And also, big fan of Mr. James Cooley, also an author and motivational speaker himself, and a book that I think has a lot of parallels. Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. And so it speaks to, once again, possibilities for those that come into the military, humble beginnings, and they do well in the military, but most importantly, they transition from the military to continue that success, as all of the guests that we will be talking to today have done, and not just with their own success, but paying forward.
And you're absolutely right, man. Some of the things that we learn in the military, that we carry that on in our civilian lives. And most importantly, is having the ability and understanding to know that you can. You can do anything that you set your mind to. And regardless of where you start from, like you had mentioned, it doesn't matter. It's always a race. And so that's one reason why I wrote Country Boy, City Boy, a journey that ain't over yet. It's not over yet. So, but I tell you what, Isaac, let's bring on our first guest. Why don't you, tell them about him, about him.
Okay, so the first guest, Dr. Breon Haskett, also known as Master Gunnery Sergeant Breon Haskett. I met this gentleman probably in my last 5 years of active duty, and I consider him to be one of my closest, greatest friends. I call him, he knows this, I call him my brother from another mother. And this guy had a phenomenal career, mentored legions of people while he was in the Marine Corps. Was working in some areas I'm let him speak to. But toward the end of the career, of our careers, we often talk about what's going to be next. And so we started talking one day about what we want to do to go forward, and just got laser focused. When he says he's going to do something, he does it. And in short order, right after retirement, he called me and said, "Hey, I knocked out my bachelor's." Called me again, I got my master's. And I'm completing my doctorate. And doing some phenomenal work outside of being a professor now. We'll talk about that, but also extending his service in advocating on behalf of the least of these in Atlanta. So I don't want to steal too much of his thunder, but without further ado, again, happy birthday, Marine, Dr. Breon Haskett. Let's hear from you. Glad to have you.
Well,
How you doing, doctor?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me today. We are brothers from other mothers. I truly believe that, man. I love Isaac in the truest sense, and he has been a mentor to me. He knows that. He's only about 6 months older, but he's been for me for a long time, and I'm looking forward to writing, finishing my book as well, and continuing on the pace right behind him. But I'm gonna catch you, Isaac. You know that.
Hey, Dr. Haskett, why don't you tell us a little bit about you, a little bit about your upbringing, where are you from, and I mean, just tell the audience that they dying to hear.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm a husband of a wonderful wife. I call her my smoking hot wife for 33 years. I have 3 beautiful kids, 2 daughters that are amazing, and a son. I'm a grandfather of 3. I grew up on the peninsula of Virginia, the Newport News, Hampton area. I'm a product of a single mother household who often struggled financially, but brought a lot of love to us. I'm that free and reduced lunch kid that you probably went to school with. And I had the members club jacket instead of the members only jacket. Mine snapped on the other side, if you remember those jackets, but we survived. I had a praying grandmother and Black male role models in my life that took the time to offer what they could to shape my growth and to move me forward, and at times use a little compulsion to refocus my efforts. So, but currently, I'm a part-time leadership professor over at a local university called Kennesaw State University. In that capacity, I teach leadership and intercultural competence and leadership and critical multiculturalism. But in terms of my volunteer work, I've been a long time volunteer working with trafficked, homeless, and vulnerable and at-risk youth. It brings me a lot of joy to work with that community on the streets of Atlanta. And that's kind of me in a nutshell. I'm actually working in 2 of my great passions, and that is education and working with youth.
Wow, you know, you didn't mention anything about your military, and you retired as a master gunnery sergeant as well. That's the audience. That's the highest you can go in the enlisted ranks. Tell us a little bit about that.
So in the military, I had somewhat of an atypical career. I started a career as a Marine Corps engineer. It sounds fancy, but I didn't have a scroll and an abacus working on things. We were utility engineers, learned how to string electricity, hopefully not electrocute ourselves. But even in that, I managed to excel. The Marine Corps was a good fit for me. I did that for 9 years as a Marine Corps engineer, and then received orders to recruiting duty. Didn't necessarily want to go, as many of us do not. And then what I found out was Marine Corps recruiting was a good fit for me. It fit well with my personality and my innate characteristics, and I excelled really well in there, was meritoriously promoted to the rank of Gunnery Sergeant, and then subsequently deep selected to Master Sergeant and Master Gunnery Sergeant. I finished my career in the Marine Corps as a Master Gunnery Sergeant E9, working at the strategic level in the Marine Corps. At Marine Corps Recruiting Command as the National Operations Chief for Prior Service Recruiting. I'm pretty happy about what we did in terms of the mission, because when I was still in, we were at the height of moving forward with some advancements in Afghanistan in terms of troop surges and the like. And so our work that we did in prior service recruiting was all that more important, bringing people back to serve in multiple capacities. And so I'm really happy about the work that I did there.
Dr. Haskett, real quick question. My understanding, you received a pretty big award in terms of your advocacy, the work you've done in Atlanta with the youth aides out of foster care and former traffic as well. You tell us a little bit more about that.
I tell you what, I hold that thought. We're going to take a station break, but we're going to come back and let him answer that question. It's your life. I'm James Cooley.
I got you, Isaac.
When I say it's your life, I'm James Cooley, and you say, and this is, and I'm Isaac Ford. Okay, like when we close out, say, taking a station break, I'm saying, well, we're gonna take a station break, and we're gonna come back. I'm gonna say, it's your life. I'm James Cooley, and we're gonna say, I'm Isaac Ford. Okay. And then when we come back, same way. Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. I'm Isaac Ford. Isaac, can you ask the doctor that question again?
Just a FYI, Mr. Cooley, your voice is coming over strong, and Ike, you're just a little bit weaker, a little hard to hear from me. I don't know if that's everybody, but I want to share that with you.
Yes, thanks for bringing that up because I can barely hear Isaac as well at different times.
Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley.
And I'm Isaac Ford.
Yeah, Isaac, you was asking the great doctor a question. Can you ask the question again?
Yes, Dr. Haskett, if you would, tell us a little bit about the certification that you have with the work you've done with the youth in Atlanta. Also, a reward that you recently got.
When I retired from the Marine Corps in 2010, I was looking for this opportunity to get involved and use some of the skill set that I learned in the Marine Corps. And I talk about natural fit a lot, but based on my background as a youth and what I learned in the Marine Corps, I thought it'd be a good fit for me to go out and do some street outreach and some volunteer work in that area. And so I began to work with street youth with an organization called Covenant House here in Atlanta. They're an international organization, but they have a pocket here. And in that capacity, I've been working for about 10 years trying to stop some of the trafficking pieces on the streets by going out and finding some of the youth before they get involved in some of the activity, working with some of the folks that have found themselves involved in gang activity and the like in some of our more challenging places in Atlanta. And I was humbly recognized by my church organization, the Archdiocese here, for some of my work around working with the youth out on the streets and some other things that I'm doing in terms of mission trips and the like. In terms of that certification, IHTI, it's an international human trafficking organization that certifies a few trainers throughout the United States. I'm one of those trainers here in Atlanta, and I provide training and resources for people who are interested in engaging in the fight to stop human trafficking of all types. And so I was, again, humbly awarded for those efforts for the last 10 years.
Tell us about the hardest transition coming from the military to civilian life. What was the hardest thing for you?
I don't want to call it culture shock because as a leadership professor of intercultural competence, culture shock means one thing, but there was a bit of shock in terms of the expectation for organizations and just the general scope of and practice of leadership outside of the auspices of the Marine Corps. And so I had to adjust in many ways to the expectations that perhaps The culture was a little bit different, that people may not have been in a rush or to get things done, that there was accountability, but in a different way that we may expect it, and that, our requirements in terms of making sure that we have integrity in everything that we do, that I learned in the Marine Corps is something that I won't say it's altogether lacking, but they're learning it. There's some work to be done.
Well, you're truly doing God's work, and speaks to the Bible says about what you do in the least of these, you do also unto me. So continue blessings as you do important work that needs to be done in Atlanta and expand your knowledge around the country.
Thank you for that.
I see that you received your doctorate in organizational leadership, which I'm a doctoral student right, myself in that same area. And I tell you, tell the audience a little bit about the outreach program that you were doing out on the street. Some of the things that you was able to get into the communities when others couldn't. Can you tell the audience a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So the vast majority of the youth that we're working with, again, are they're homeless or definitely vulnerable, and some are in trafficked situations. And what I found is that just like you would have to do with a good friend or somebody you met in the military, you have to build a relationship in order for them to be able to hear you, to take your advice or be able to advance their life in any way. And so a lot of the time that we spend on the street is really about building relationship and rapport with the youth, so that they understand that, one, we don't just, as the kids would say, have love for them, but we actually are going out there and love to be long suffering, because the work is challenging and sometimes disappointing, but also to just let them know that we are there for them for the long haul, and that we will be there to stand in the gap for them and make sure that they get the resources that they need. With that said, let me share this with you, Mr. Cooley. This is most of our youth that are out there have experienced significant trauma in their past lives, trauma in their life, and most of the behaviors or manifestations of that trauma that they're experiencing. It's an oddity for somebody to come at them with just this idea that we're going to really try to get in their shoes, like work around in that space of empathy, bring that piece of love to them in the community, when all they have known the vast majority of their lives is challenge and perhaps struggle.
Wow, that's deep. I tell you, Doctor, we're gonna come back to you later and get some more of that knowledge that you're putting out. But we're gonna bring on our next guest, and just like I said, this guy, I've been knowing him close to 30 years in the military. We served together. A fantastic guy, a great husband, and a great father. I mean, I just have the utmost respect for him. And he and I worked together at Lockheed Martin. He's still at Lockheed Martin. And let me tell you a little bit about him. John Johnson is a fellow. A fellow means that you are one of the best in the business, and they come to you for advice. At Lockheed Martin, Missiles and Control, where he's also a cybersecurity technical lead. So he's doing a lot of different things, in Grand Prairie, Texas. He's originally from Florida. He's going to tell you a little bit about that one. And since I have known him, he has held many leadership positions with great companies. I'm talking about where he led teams in the design and development things that are flying around on planes and all type of stuff. I mean, he's just a fantastic guy, and he's a father or two. I know his wife Cindy. She's probably listening. Bradley, and I tell you, without any further delay, let's bring on JJ, John Johnson, and Crystal. I did not forget about you. Welcome to the show, JJ.
Thank you very much. I'm very honored to be on board. I've been talking to you about this for a long time. You've been trying to get me to come on for a long time, and I'm glad it's finally worked itself out. But yes, thank you very much.
So, JD, tell the audience a little bit about you.
Well, my family comes from northern Alabama, but I would call us really gypsies because my dad was a mechanical engineer, and he would go out on a given site and stay there probably 3/4 of the job, go back to his corporate office, and then move us again. So I lived in 7 different states growing up as a kid. I absolutely loved all the travel, like meeting new people, seeing this great country of ours. I think that's kind of what sparked my interest in the military as well. I knew that if I got the opportunity on the right assignments within the Navy, it would give me a lot of opportunity to do international travel, as well as live in different places with the United States. But I mean, I've been very, very fortunate through my military career. I took a lot of assignments, some of the hard assignments people didn't want to take, but it allowed me to get promoted quickly. And I did that for all the way until I left the military. And I've been extremely lucky walking in the door to my first job from working for Raytheon. I've done a lot of good work with their organization. And it's opened other opportunities for me to work for Rockwell Collins and right now Lockheed Martin. Doing a lot of good things for our service members. Proud to see a lot of our technology in the hands of the right people and things with it.
What are some of the traits that you developed in the military that you transition into helping you be a great successful coach you are in the civilian world?
I honestly, I think the number one thing is a strong work ethic. That was one of the greatest things that I took away from it. And the second thing was taking charge of your own career. I learned that young in the Navy, that you are definitely in control of your own career. If you put yourself out there, you work hard, good things will come from it. And I've taken that all the way throughout my civilian career as well. And I've been just fortunate to be in some of the positions that I had and the current one I do have.
Mr. Johnson, tell us how you got into cybersecurity. You couldn't ask for a better field to be in right now.
Yeah.
And
So
for the young people that are looking for the fields to pursue for the next 20, 30 years, that would be it. So tell us about how you got into that.
Oh, absolutely. So when I was in the military, in the Navy, early on, I got exposed to doing what we called network security back then, which is now transitioned to cybersecurity. And I got the opportunity to do a lot of work in that arena. I was division officer of the first Pacific Region Network Operating Center out of NC Towns, Pacific. And then was able to take over as the deputy director of global NOC for NMCI out of Norfolk. And that was the position I retired from. All of those things in between there, as we went from RF-based, a lot of RF-based type communications and thing, all of our technology was going to IP-based. So every time they offered up a course in any form of cybersecurity, network security type thing, I was first there raising my hand. Yes, I want to do it. I want to get involved in it, and I want to work a project. Give me a pilot project to work, and then let's show the people how all this technology can help us. And that's done well for me, actually.
Wow.
And it's hard.
Your success on active duty and the transition you made.
We're gonna have to take a station break, but we're gonna come back and continue our discussion with John Johnson and bring on our next guest. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley. you have to pull the mic a little closer, otherwise it's echo. And so we're gonna ask JJ a couple more questions.
That's the very impressive resume.
Not this guy's awesome.
That's the future. Yeah, that's supposed to be.
He's awesome. So we're gonna ask him a couple more questions. Then we're going to break to Kenny, and you're gonna introduce Kenny Reed's bio, and then we're gonna bring all of them back in the last segment. Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley.
And Isaac Ford.
Wow, Isaac, we have to always give call out our sponsor for making this show possible. I want to thank Goldsmith Financial, Joshua Goldsmith. Wow, you just a good friend of mine and probably the best financial advisor that I know. And if anybody looking for a financial advisor, that's the man that they need to contact. But bringing JJ back on, I call him JJ. He's a friend of mine. Hey JJ, what advice would you give to a person leaving the military, that's a little nervous like we were, transitioning into the civilian world? What advice would you give them on what they need to be thinking about or planning to do?
Sure, absolutely. I think one of the most important things for me was the fact that I went in the service and I didn't have my degree, but I made it my priority to get a degree. And I think that's one of the most important things you can do for yourself. If you don't already have one, is to ensure that you get that before you leave it. It will open the doors. Other things is know what you want to do ahead of time. What type of job do you want? Research the companies that you're interested in, and they'll rank these companies from 1 to 1,000, and how well they take care of their people, how people are promoted, the technology or whatever products they make. All that stuff is readily available to people, and they just need to do their homework. And I guess the only other thing I would say is make sure you sit down with somebody who is professional writer for doing resumes and working with you when you do your actual interviews, because I did that and it paid dividends for me.
It's so important to be able to translate what we do in uniform in ways that the civilian sector can really appreciate what we do. I think that sometimes we sell ourselves short because we may or may not have a degree, but the corporate knowledge that we gain while in the military it makes it very competitive on the outside.
Absolutely.
And again, congratulations on your really successful transition.
Hey, JJ, man, I know that you are always on the go. You're always moving at 100 miles per hour. What do you do, man, to relax?
My wife would tell you not much, because my hair, if I'm not doing Mach 5 and my hair on fire, I'm not happy. But I don't know, my wife and I, we have become fond lovers of Napa Valley. So we've got a lot of different wineries that we like, and we'll have a tendency just to sit on the back porch, the kids are off in college and got the dog in the backyard, and we're just sitting there having a glass of wine around our fire pit and just relaxing.
You know, hey JJ, we're gonna come back to you again a little later, but we're gonna bring on our next guest. Hey Kenny, you want to do the honors?
So, Mr. Ken Boler, I called Dr. Haskett, my brother from another mother. Ken Boler is actually my brother, and super proud of him. And had a phenomenal career in the Air Force. I'll let him tell you a little bit about what he did in the Air Force. But I've always known this guy to be just a machine in terms of work ethic, in terms of his vision, in terms of speaking his dreams into fruition. And so grew up in Augusta, Georgia as well. I love to talk about that. Did some phenomenal things in the military, but also what he did in the industry came out when he left the military. He took that to a whole nother level with his own path. And I think that that's another thing that our service members need to think about. There are a lot of great jobs, a lot of great careers out there, but the entrepreneurial piece is something that we can also do simultaneously. This is what I've always known him to do. Always had a good job, excel with his job, and always had 2 or 3 different things going on from my career. So without further ado, my brother, Ken Boler.
Welcome to the show, Ken.
Hey, thank you very much, and it's an honor to be on with you guys today. I really appreciate you guys making a lane for me to join you from Savannah, Georgia.
Hey man, we always hunting down great guests, especially those that are doing things like you're doing. So why don't you tell the audience a little bit about you?
Well, as I said, I grew up in Augusta, Georgia, and we grew up down in the bottom, better known as what I consider to be the Triangle. It was surrounded by Savannah River on one side, train tracks on another side, and low expectations on that third side. But I grew up in a family that wouldn't let the low expectations keep you down. And we were a Christian-based family, work ethic family, and my grandfather raised me, and there just wasn't going to be any junk in his house. So when I left there, and after leaving there and spending some time at Payne College and getting married, I went in the Air Force. And while the Air Force may have seemed like it should have been a transition joining the military, when you grew up in my grandfather's house, that wasn't a long swing, so to speak, because discipline and work ethic I already had. Yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. That's just the way I grew up. So that wasn't even an option. But the Air Force was good to me. I was in security forces, spent some time in Turkey, Iraq, Japan, Philippines, Korea, some of the norms. And then I took a real bad injury, tore my knee up chasing the guy, and then after that, for all practical purposes, that sidelined me on that path that I was on. So once again, I had to step back and kind of re-identify just where I was and where I was looking to go.
So Mr. Boler, we know that your work ethic was fine-tuned in the bottom, and the military built on that. But in turn, tell us about how you got into the first industry that you started in once you left the Air Force.
Yeah, so after tearing my knee up, after the injury and the career-ending injury in the military, I was on a good track, but that kind of knocked me to the side. And then I took a medical retirement, and very few people get a medical retirement out of the Air Force. And now I'm a disabled veteran as well, service connected. But I had a transition from the Air Force, and I literally walked in Florida Today, USA Today, the Net News Service, and took an entry-level job because I just needed a job. And I figured that was a good place for me to start. I was in the news business for 12 years, having gone up to the level of director of advertising at one newspaper, then director of advertising with Savannah Morning News, director of advertising with Knight Ridder, Gwinnett Daily Post, the second largest newspaper in Georgia. And then I finished out my career at the general manager level, having started at entry level. So it took a lot of work. I had a lot of people bring me along. I had a lot of people mentor me, and I'm thankful to those people. And I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about how not to do it. because I saw some people doing it wrong and mistreating people along the way. And I promised myself that if I was ever in a position to help, if I was ever in a position to treat people differently, that's what I would do. And it hadn't failed me yet.
Mr. Boler, tell us about Big Sheets USA. We're intrigued by that. And
so everybody knows. Yeah, so everybody knows what. Everybody knows what's transitioning with newspapers around the country. Newspapers took a dive. The onset of the internet, it was just a legacy product, and a lot of the newspapers are having to reinvent themselves. But as they do that and they pull back, they were leaving a void with small businesses. So small community businesses, the mom and pops, they were leaving a void because those people depended on newspapers. I went in with a lane. I'm the founder and CEO of Big Sheet USA. We go into a small community. We touch 25, 30,000 people. We give you low-cost advertising in print, online, and text, and we connect that community with those businesses, goods, and services. And we've been very successful. We're in 14 cities now. If it wasn't for COVID, we'd be knocking the door on 2022 this year. But we're going to get close to 20. But I need COVID to get out of the way, and then we're going to push the gas, and we'll take it to the next level. But last month, we were just shy of 500,000 unique visitors, and we operate in 14 cities, and the sky's the limit. But I use that to recruit, and I just signed a MOU to go into Florida, and we're looking to bring on wounded warriors out of Florida, people that are disabled, that have some income, but can work a modest schedule, be it 16, 20 hours a week, and we're going to train them how to be territory sales managers in their respective cities. So, so there's a lot of upside.
That is outstanding. Hey, tell the audience how you have been. I mean, you had a little talk the other day. You told me a story about a couple of ladies came up to you looking for additional work, and you put them to work right away. Can you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, I'll tell you. One of the things I will tell you is there's a lot of households that's ran by single moms right now, and single moms, they're trying to figure it out. And if you look back through our family structure, back down through, you can see that women were running those households, and now you've got single moms of 1 kid, 2 kids, and these are professional people, but they're looking for another source of income, and they need something that they can be flexible with. And right now, I'm happy to say I've got four in that situation that's territory managers that work part-time, that's making decent money with us, and they're highly respected in their cities, and they own it. And just makes me feel proud to be able to get a person connected with something that's my vision, and they're taking it to get what they need for their family.
We applaud you once again, and I know that right now you've got reach in the Southeast as well as in New York. I can't wait to see you out here on the West Coast.
I'll come to San Diego next week if y'all want me to.
You may excuse to see my brother a little bit more.
As long as I can still say y'all out there.
If you can, there's a lot of Southerners out here, right, James?
Yeah, y'all.
Yeah.
And you know,
as long as I can say y'all, I'm not gonna stop saying y'all.
A long time. You know, California can't break it. You know, so you can take a person out the country, but you can't take the country out of a person. Right. You know, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a station break. We're gonna bring Kenny back on, and we're gonna bring all 3 guests on at the same time. It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley.
And I'm Isaac Ford.
Very impressive. Very impressive guy. You know, so what we're gonna do is ask them a couple more questions, and then we're gonna bring all of them back. Yeah. Yeah, and I did write down some questions. So.
I love the format. This is wonderful. The work you're doing there is phenomenal.
Oh, thanks, man.
You can't afford to talk about work ethic. You are city man, you're making things happen, and entrepreneur, foundation.
I mean, you know what, you do it big or you don't do it at all. So, no such thing.
I've been fasting all day. I was supposed to be doing some blood work at the VA, and trying to take care of everything at the house my client's supposed to. And I said, I need to get down there. So, man, not right time, but I want to eat anything. So this so happens, and I get off the freeway. I'm like, I'm right down the street from La Jolla. I'm right down the street from La Jolla, so when I leave there, I can still go get blood work pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drop by and get some blood work on the way out.
This is a great location.
It is.
Yeah, like 10 studios in here.
They got it's an echo coming from somewhere. I don't know. Welcome back to It's Your Life. I'm James Cooley.
And I'm Isaac Ford.
Wow, Isaac, man, we're getting the education. I know that our listening audience has learned a lot about the military veterans and things that the military instilled in them. We instill that in our work ethic, in our everyday life. And so we got 4 great guys here. Well, really 6, yeah, all of us that are military retirees, and we all went a different path. But I believe that we all are extremely successful in what we do. And so our listening audience out there, if you wondering about going in the military has a lot of upsides in it. And it's going to get you discipline. I mean, if you don't already have discipline, you know, but also it's a great career move, because if you go in and be the best that you can be and learn everything that you can, you come out sitting pretty, and the civilian world will be coming after you.
Skills, experience, and security clearances, all the things that come to bear to be successful. And a big part of it is about when we leave the civilian community, we leave going to the military, there's a learning curve. In terms of cultural competence, we have to learn the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marine, Coast Guard. And on the way out, we have to make sure we have those skills, those skill sets, and we have those certifications, and we have the people skills, even interpersonal, to be able to come back in the civilian sector and have just a seamless transition. So a lot of great knowledge here today, wisdom. They spread around, so we'll not you do 4 years, we'll not you do 30 years. Certainly one of the best decisions I've ever made.
Wow. Oh yeah. You know, what we're gonna do, Isaac, is I got some general questions that we're gonna ask each of our guests. And I'm gonna start off with Dr. Haskett first. What is the greatest thing you miss about the military?
A sense of family and camaraderie. I miss it. I stay in touch with all my brethren from the Marine Corps, as many as I can, because I miss that sense of shared mission and commitment on a daily basis. But I really just miss the relationships that I built in the Marine Corps. And my brother from another mother is a prime example of that. I just get excited when I get an opportunity to, reconnect with those folks that I shared some time with in the military.
You, JJ?
Yeah, I don't know if I could say it any better than Dr. Haskins, honestly. It is the camaraderie. I mean, in the Navy, I mean, people can, you can be upset about things going on your own ship, but you walk off the ship and someone says one bad thing about your ship, and everybody's coming together and everybody's ready to throw down. But we had a lot of great friends that went on to do other different things and stuff. But I really enjoyed all the people I met, and I've continuously, like Dr. Haskins, I've kept up with the majority of the people that was the tightest with, and I still reach out to different people on Facebook and other different means from time to time as well.
What about you, Ken?
I'd have to say really just having a clear mission, the friends that I interacted with, and then just being focus driven. Corporate America is sometimes can have a meeting to talk about having a meeting to talk about what they're going to do next week, and by the time they've done that, I'm gone. So a lot of that I had to really understand about the transition back to civilian life.
You, Isaac?
I would just say, to echo camaraderie, the relationships like today, Marine Corps birthday, tomorrow Veterans Day. I'm sure that everybody within this forum right now will probably be involved in about 200 texts. And so all these people are coming, we're saying happy birthday, happy Veterans Day, Facebook, we're seeing these old archival pictures. So that's something you miss. But those relationships never go away. And many of us, we network with each other on the way out. And so I say camaraderie, just the challenges, and sometimes when we're working at a certain level, sometimes it's difficult for civilians to understand where we're coming from, but we get it. And so it's really good to be able to touch base with each other, and many of us we do. We keep these relationships going thanks to social media. We can find people in short order.
Yeah, and me, I miss everything about the military. But most importantly, I missed being able to mentor our younger sailors and to help them grow up to take your job. So it's always nice to show our young sailors and soldiers what and how work ethics will bring them to the top. And we always want to groom them to let them know that you're going to be in the driver's seat one day. And this is how I do it. And I hope that I'm a good role model. Yeah, so I miss that about the military. Yeah. So
I'd just like to say, once again, happy Veterans Day early. And I'd like to throw a shout out and say congratulations to our President-elect, President Biden, and Vice President Kamala Harris, our new Commander-in-Chief. And we've got some important work going forward, and I think all of us as veterans, I think we're going to help our country move where it needs to go.
So and this question is for all three of you guys as well. What do you consider the most important attributes of a successful leader? Let's start with you first, JJ.
A leader. For me, I always lead by example. You got to be responsible for your people. You got to be someone that's going to stand up for your people, make sure they have a voice. It's also as a leader that you want to make sure you provide all the level of training and advancement opportunities that you can give them. And we've been very successful at Lockheed Martin bringing up our younger generation in the engineering ranks, and I think we've done a good job for it.
Doctor.
Yeah, I live by this edict that people are too busy, watching what you do to listen to what you say. And so in that vein, I'm always about, especially while I was in the Marine Corps, leading and living as I profess. So you have to lead with integrity. And so that was always my key takeaway, is that don't tell me, show me. If you're going to lead with integrity, and your life and your leadership practice should reflect that.
Oh, yeah. Ken?
I'd have to say honesty and respect. I mean, those two things just kind of go hand in hand. And once a person knows that you're going to give them the facts and you're going to be open with them, they may not always appreciate it or always want to hear the honest answer. But if they know that it's coming from a place of respect, they'll follow you anywhere you need them to follow you.
Yeah, the best definition of a leader that I know is a leader is a person that knows the way, goes the way, but most importantly, shows the way. So it's all about being an example, because you never know who's watching you, and you always want to set a great example, and you always want to do the right thing. So that's what I encourage our leaders of today to do, because we have to groom our next generation. Next question. What keeps you grounded? with all the successful things that you have, and a lot of times it's a lot of challenging things that we find ourselves in. How do we stay grounded? Let's start off with you, Ken.
I really just say that, you know, you've got all these things behind you that you've done, and particularly at me at 59 years old, I just want to make sure I finish strong, and I'm not going to finish on my knees or on my back. I'm gonna finish running just like I came into the game. So that's a little bit different perspective of those younger guys that's on this, that they've got a little bit more time to run. But when I look out here, my time is clicking down, so I want to make sure I'm running fast.
Doctor?
You know, my foundation is in my faith. And so when I was a kid, they used to tell me that favor wasn't fair, and God has given me a lot of favor. And so, you know, I'm a big believer in that Psalm 37 that says a righteous man's steps are ordered by the Lord. Now, I'm working on the righteous piece, but I understand the ordering piece. And so I build my foundation, I maintain my foundation, everything I do on my faith. And so I try to live with integrity based upon those faithful principles.
JJ?
For me, I'd say the biggest thing is remaining humble. No matter how successful you become in life, I don't like being that person that brags about anything, does anything. I always get told, like, you're about the most humble guy I know. I mean, you've got all these different things, done all these different things. I was like, you know something? I've had a lot of great opportunities put at my feet, and I've taken advantage of those opportunities. But to me, being humble is, for me, one of the most important things.
Oh, yeah.
For me, I think as hard as you work for your own success and to highlight the things that you're doing, it's just as important that you give equal amount of time to try to bring someone else, to try to help somebody else, to advocate for someone else. And by doing that, I think that's a mark of a good leader, and something that always I use as my ethos. Always find a way to build a pay it forward. Always find a way to build a mentor and try to improve someone else's life and add to someone as much as you add to yourself.
Wow. You know, Isaac, we're coming toward the end of the show. But before we go, how can the audience get in touch with you guys if they needed to? Dr. Haskett.
They can reach me at breon.haskett@me.com. It's Breon, BREON.HASKETT @ME, Mike Echo for my military minded.com.
Okay. Ken.
Kenneth Boler, common spelling, Kenneth.Boler, BOLER, @gmail.com, or always go to my website, bigsheetusa.com, and you can click on contact.
JJ, real quickly.
JP Johnson, the number 2 @outlook.com.
Well, you know, I tell you, you know, this has been a great show, been very educational, and a lot of information has been put out there. We would like to thank each and every last one of our guests. So I'd like to thank Isaac over here for co-hosting, JJ, Dr. Haskett, Ken Boler. Thank you. You know, and I also want to thank our listening audience for taking time to tune in with us, and stay tuned because next week we got a great show coming your way. It's your life. I'm James Cooley, and keep in mind that we are always out there looking for sponsors so we can continue to bring this great message to all of you. And most importantly, I want to thank our sponsor, Joshua Goldsmith Financial. Thank you so much, and until next week, see you. Facebook. We still got Facebook. Facebook audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Just like we mentioned, tomorrow is Veterans Day. And as I mentioned earlier, every day is Veterans Day because people sacrifice their lives. They're on the front line doing certain things to make sure that we keep this country safe. And so thank you so much. My guests, is there anything you guys want to impart with our Facebook audience? Dr. Haskett.
No, just as you said before, the Marine Corps and the military in general is a great option for those that are looking for, an opportunity to move to the next level in their lives if they're looking for a place to move. And that last thing is just I want to encourage everybody to continue to move forward, particularly those who are striking out on their own as they leave the military, and just wishing everybody the best. And thanks for the opportunity to be here.
Ken.
Hey, thanks again for having me on today. It's been a pleasure, and it was great hearing from everyone. And I like to hear some of the things that people are doing because that's how I learn. But really, if I can say anything, everybody just stay safe. Keep your family safe going into the holidays. Be smart about this thing. Make sure that you're spreading the word to be safe. This is nothing to play with. And hopefully we can all get into 2021 and we can take this thing to another level.
JJ?
Yes, I want to thank you for bringing me on. I know you've been trying to get me to come on for a long time, and I really enjoyed it, and I enjoyed meeting all the guests. It's really a humbling experience to be with my fellow brethren. I always love my fellow veterans. And if there's one thing I can leave you with is the military is a great place to learn a lot of amazing skills that you can transition into the civilian world with. And there are plenty of opportunities when you're in there to exceed your expectations and those around you and accomplish a lot of good things.
So from the mental health lens, I'd just like to say the country's going through a lot of tough things right now, and we're going to get to the other side of this. But as veterans, we need to be reminded and check in with each other, both on active duty, after service, and to ensure that everybody is battle buddies on the other side of the uniform.
And all of those are great messages, and just be safe out there. And if you're having some problems or issues, just like what Isaac just mentioned, reach out to someone, counseling to help us out. 'Cause we all need it sometimes. So until next week, Facebook family, we're signing off right now, but we'll see you again next week. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, outstanding.
That was a good show, man.
Well, thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
This is not your only time.